Okay. Okay, any other, George, did you find what you were looking for? Or?
No, I didn't, but he is in a unique position, and I just think we need to back him when he needs flexibility, and maybe the appearance of what's going on is not good, at least to the uninitiated. That seems to be the heart of what's precipitated this whole fandango here. So, appearances.
Okay, yeah, we're kind of put in a unique position here with not being able to, go into. So that's the way I understand. We can't go into executive session without discussing that. For if we wanted to talk about an individual without his consent, right? He has to be afforded the opportunity to either decline to talk about it in executive session or allow it to be talked about in public.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep, go ahead, George, or excuse me, go ahead, John.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, for me, the way I think about it is the police position is not an hourly job. If you look at his call sheet, he's got more than enough hours. You don't need it. You don't need a timesheet. It just straight across the board, you're paying for so many hours a week. But in reality, there may be a lot more hours on the clock. So to me, the talking about hourly and salary and all that is, to me, is more or less irrelevant. We're paying him to answer calls, and I think he's doing a great job. And a lot of this is just cleaning up the contract, and everything I've seen so far is just makes me think that we're thinking about terminating somebody or something. But I haven't read all of it, but I'm not worried about hours, how many hours somebody puts in on the clock when they're in that position, or in the city manager's position, and jobs like that. They're just there to do the job. They get the job done. That's great. We got to just stand up and back people that do that. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I just have a quick question. So we have two in the laydown. We have two documents. We have the actual contract with the all of the sections through basically 8.10. That makes up the meat of the contract, and then we have the second part of that. It starts on page 13 of the laydown, which are the recitals, and basically, I guess that is the ratifying document that basically where the city says, yes, we have offered and accepted this contract with the employee.
Mayor, if I may, so pages 1 through 12 of your packet, those are just the amendments that the city attorney made. And then pages 13 through 22, that's the same contract, but with all of the changes accepted.
Okay, that's what's going on here. All right, I understand now.
And then, Mayor, if I may, because our IT staff let us know that we weren't recording, I just kind of wanted to briefly go over what we discussed so that it is saved on YouTube or saved for the record for the public.
Yep.
So we discussed the amendments that the city attorney made regarding the contract, which just cleaned up the supervisory description within the contract and removed the references to city council. We also made the position clearer with the at-will status, because initially the employee or the contract was listed at will, but then had conflicting information that the city attorney found. And so now the position is not at will, which means the employee has vested property rights to the position, and cannot be terminated without cause. There has to be cause along with a pre-termination or post-termination hearing. So that was the first part of the meeting. The second part of the meeting was going over section 1.5 work hours, just drawing council's attention to the fact that the employee is employed on a full-time basis on a work schedule determined by the city manager, and that the employee shall be allowed flexibility in setting his own office hours when reasonable. And if I left anything out, please comment on that, but that's just a quick summary since we weren't recording the meeting.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good synopsis of what we've gone over so far. And then, so just to be clear, I mean, if we're looking at these changes, and then if the council doesn't have any issues with what is proposed here, I mean, this would still have to be accepted by, I mean, I assume this would, these amended terms would have to be accepted by the chief. Is that correct?
I would actually lean on the city attorney for that, but I believe, yes, they have to be accepted by everyone that signed the document. But what do you think, City Attorney Levesque?
Thank you, Mick. Yeah, I don't think I'm on mute anymore here. Okay, yeah. No, that's exactly correct. But from my conversations with this city manager, she's gone over that with the employee, and he understands or even wanted the changes or welcomed them. I don't know how to quite put that, Rachel, but everybody does have to sign it and agree to it. That's correct.
Yes, and to go off of what our city attorney said, yes, the chief of police was in favor of meeting to remove the references to city council, as well as maintaining the appeal process with his position. So clarifying that he's not an actual at-will employee. There's no termination without cause. So those were the two items that we have talked about.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, any other comments from council in regards to these changes? Are we happy? Are we not happy? Where are we at?
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yep, go ahead, Vivian.
I looking over the document and having the review tonight, I think we've improved this tremendously. And so I'm in favor of moving forward with it, the amended form, and hopefully our police chief will be happy to sign it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yep, go ahead, George.
I'm not particularly happy at all. I think the changes are good, probably needed to be made and so forth. I'm just very, very sorry that we couldn't do this in a way that it didn't have the chief stomp out of here. I really don't understand what he's upset about, but surely we could have handled this in a better way.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here either. Yeah, I mean, if there was something, I mean, that's why I wanted to clarify too, just to make sure that if there's something in this document that he doesn't agree with, and that there's another opportunity for him to, talk with the manager, and, if there's, yeah, obviously it's an employment agreement, so you can't sign it if you're not in fully, in full agreement with it, just like any contract. So I think there'll certainly be an opportunity for him to make sure that it's correct. Yeah, then in terms of getting into any specifics, yeah, without him being here, it's a little tough to move forward.
And again, Mayor, just to add, it doesn't actually, the most significant thing it does is it allows this position to not be at will. That's the most significant thing. The secondary thing was just clarifying the supervisory role, because the contract actually was already clear with that, but there was a misinterpretation or a confusion by the employee about that. So this only removes an area where there could be confusion, and then provides a better benefit to the employee.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question earlier. It would have been nice for him to stay and let us know what issues he had. Since he didn't, I guess we will find out if he has an issue after you present him with this for signing, correct?
Well, through the mayor, Councilmember Sweat, as the city manager, I typically would bring forward HR related issues to the council. But this particular situation, it was seen as beneficial to bring before the council, especially regarding the hours of work section in his contract, just to have more public awareness about the component of flexibility. But typically, I would not be bringing forward any other HR related topics to the council. I'd be keeping that with myself, between myself and the staff member.
Okay, so if he's not satisfied with this, we'll just fix it?
Through the mayor, yes, the city attorney and I will be in consultation with the employee about the contract, but it only improves
Yeah.
what the document was.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other final questions or comments before we wrap it up here? Okay, then, so what, without hearing any additional comments or questions, what is the formal action that we need on to give you, Rachel, to move forward on this? I mean, if it's a personnel matter, yeah, what do we need to do here now?
Mayor, I don't believe there's any action that council needs to take because we're not changing the, as long as council is overall in agreement about changing the position to a non-at-will status, this doesn't really need council's approval, but I'll ask the city attorney to confirm that for me. But since it's a personnel related matter, it would just stick within the administration department.
And Mr. Mayor, I, as a city attorney, I agree that no action is needed. We just wanted to air this out and make sure that the city council was aware of the ambiguities that we had to clean up.
Okay, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Okay, well, yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to clean this up. It does seem a little more transparent and less, a little less confusing for the employee, you know, on how, you know, the chain of command. Obviously, we didn't change anything with the hours. So from a contract perspective, I think, you know, it's, I'm fine with it, as it sounds like, you know, most council members are. If there's anything in addition that, you know, needs to be discussed, you know, without the chief being here, that we'll have to take that up at another time, I guess, if that's, you know, and again, that would be a personnel issue. So I'm not sure how we would navigate that, but we can certainly talk about that if and when that time comes. All right, so if there's nothing else here, we'll move down to item N. So official action is no action. Then and then item N, city manager's report, none. Informational items not requiring action, none. Executive
Mayor?
session. Yep, go ahead.
If I may, I hate to interrupt, but I don't believe we asked for public comment on that topic per the agenda.
Oh, you know what? You are absolutely correct. Let me back up here. We might have jumped the gun. Yeah, item M1, item C, public presentation. Is there anyone from the public that's got their hand up that wishes to speak on this matter?
Ms. Crystal Collier.
Okay.
Hi, Mayor. Thank you so much for taking my comment. I do have a comment that the city wants to move somebody from an at-will employee. That is not a benefit to the general public. I think that lawsuits are easily implemented nowadays, and an at-will would be a benefit to the city in order, rather than looking for cause to dismiss somebody, which is always could end up in a court case. And the other is the time card issue. After 33 years of having, hundreds of employees, time cards are always important. And I know sometimes jobs feel like they shouldn't have one, but I myself have a time card. I think reflecting your time spent on the job is a necessity for all sorts of reasons. And a lot of them have to do with PTO, but also accountability for your position. So why I feel it's sometimes a hindrance for myself to do one, I do one, and I think that's very important. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate those comments. Anyone else, Radzi, that from the public that wishes to?
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Mayor, a person identified as Kate would like to talk.
Okay.
Hi, this is Kate Homan-Billmeyer, and I appreciate the opportunity to listen in remotely as you all have your session. I just wanted to say that it's a very illuminating conversation, and I only want to chime in to say that just as a reminder, as a community member, that the Seldovia Chief of Police is at the service of all community members, both inside city limits and outside city limits. I think it's a very important thing to reiterate with community members for a sense of community connection and belonging, that that is at the service of all residents. And so I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you for keeping that in mind as the city and the Chief of Police go about their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate those comments. Radzi, anyone else?
Yes, Ms. Laurel Hiltz would like to talk as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear, Laurel.
All right. So just my only input in this process is that one of the things that seemed to be popping up, maybe subtly, was a sense of what the work day entails and what the overall job entails. And so I heard commentary that talked about a large number of calls taking place in the evening, and maybe offsetting that occurs in the daytime where there's less time maybe on the clock, even though it's a salaried position. So one thing that might be helpful would be in the either in the job description or just in the overall evaluation of an employee in this position would be to indicate the expectations of the job as it looks like from the office, as it looks like from being in the community. Certainly when you have one example that lasts, was for 33 years, that gets solidified in your mind. So certainly seeing a chief of police at his desk, at his office on a regular basis, but also seeing patrols occur on other streets than just one, and throughout the community, so that awareness of that presence is always there. That just might be something that would be worth considering. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Laurel. Appreciate those comments. Anyone else, Radzi?
I see no other hands at this time.
Okay, and again, I apologize for skipping over that. Got moving along there and didn't notice that on my agenda or failed to see that. We'd skipped over that. Okay, any in light of those public comments before we move on to the next item, any additional comments or questions by council? Okay, we'll go ahead and continue on with no action then, and we will move on to item N, city manager's report is none. Item O, informational items not requiring action, none. Executive session, looks like none tonight. Item Q, council and mayor comments concerning items not on the agenda. Nathan?
I don't have any.
Okay, Sweat,
Yeah, just want to thank the staff for cleaning up this contract. Thanks.
Goldberg,
I will say the same as Bobby did. Thanks to staff. Job well done.
thank you. Mr. Morrison,
Yeah, ditto on cleaning this contract up. Thanks, Joe. I hope this can get resolved and figured out. I'd hate to lose our chief. He's doing a pretty good job here. So thanks.
thanks, Pearlie. Vivian,
Yeah, thanks everyone for participating tonight, and thank you, those people in the audience. Thank you.
okay, Harmony,
Yep, I would just like to echo my fellow council members and express appreciation for the language cleanup, the clarification on how those roles are played out, and thank you for the public for participating.
thank you, Harmony. Yeah, and I'll just echo the same. Yeah, anytime we can dive into our code or, any thing that needs administrative attention and clean it up and make it a little more transparent for the public is obviously a good thing. And then certainly if it's, in this case, hopefully more helpful to the employee and, give a little better, clearer understanding is good. So appreciate everyone's efforts on that. And then I'll appreciate the comments from the public as well. Our next meeting will be this Monday, July 26th at 6 p.m. And I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn and a second. Any objection? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Joe, thank you for your time this evening. Much appreciated. Have a good night.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night, everyone.